YouTube. What it do, what it do, what it do. It's your boy Self-Conscious. And guys, I'm back with another video. Hey, when you come in the room, you already know what time it is. Smash the button, share, subscribe, turn on all post notification bells. Do that favor for your boy. Help your boy out. Help your boy out, man. Look at here, guys. I'm gonna tell y'all, right? It's man, it's 114. These Democrats, they done fumbled the ball, bro. The Democrats done fumbled the ball. I don't know what they got going on, but they done fumbled the ball. You know what I'm saying? Democrats looking bad right now, real shit, man. They done fall, man. They can't get it together for whatever reason. I don't know what it is or what's going on, but Democrats just can't seem to get it together, man. Thanks to Joe Biden. Our world is in a crisis right now. There is so much chaos and confusion entering America from these foreign countries, man. I don't know if we're going to be able to survive this one here. If they want you to get on the front, going to start letting people out of prisons, jails. It's just going to be a whole humongous situation, man. And I was giving some thought about that speech, man, that Joe Biden dropped, right? How he was talking about he feel like the courts and the legislations let the American people down simply because Joe Biden, Donald Trump was granted immunity where he could get out and campaign for presidential or whatever. And he don't like that. He said the system then failed again. But think about this, man. What about all these people that's incarcerated, locked up in prison right now falsely? You know what I'm saying? You ain't saying that about them. You ain't trying to let people out of prison, Joe Biden. Trying to get people out of jail that's falsely accused, sitting on death row with life sentences and stuff like that. But you want to make a big issue out of Donald Trump's situation because he was granted immunity where he can campaign. And we already know what time it is. The man know he ain't got no fight, man. The man know he can't stand up to Donald Trump. Donald Trump made him look so bad at that debate, man, till it was pathetic. But the question is now, can the Democrats bounce back? Will they be able to bounce back? I don't think so. I don't care who get up there and represent for Joe Biden at the next debate. I don't care who it is, man. Ain't nothing shaking, man. Folks are done with Democrats right now. Democrats ain't got nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? They can throw their towels in and give it up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, man. You know, so, hey, for all you bloggers out there with these big platforms, I need y'all guys to start getting your subscribers to get out and start voting early for Donald Trump, man. Start rallying for Trump, man. We got to get Trump in office, man. I'm tired of going through this shit, man. I'm tired of struggling, but I ain't even gonna hold you, man. I'm tired of it, bro. Now, outside of that, we have thousands and thousands of people that was working when the debate between Trump and Biden took place in Atlanta last week. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna end the live video. I'm gonna stay on the live, and I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna replay that debate, man. And like I said, I know I done played it a couple of days, but man, I know it's just thousands of people, man, that still have yet to see it. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to play it for y'all guys, man, and keep y'all up to speed, bring y'all up to speed to what's going on, man. Because like I said, we got to get Donald Trump back in office, man. By all means necessary. We got to get Donald Trump in office. We trying to win like the Boston Celtics, baby. We trying to win like the Celtics. The Celtics won the NBA championship. We trying to get Donald Trump back in office, man. I don't know about y'all, man, but I want Trump back, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. I want Trump back right now. Yeah, hold for. Listen, man, if you ain't voting for Donald Trump, you ain't got nothing going on. I'm gonna tell you that now. If you ain't voting for Trump, you don't have nothing going on, man. You know just as well as I know, all you Joe Biden supporters out there, y'all know Joe Biden ain't got nothing going on. The man that let America down, man. The man that let America down, Putin, that manipulated him out of so much money. I'm talking about billions. We're not talking about millions of dollars. We talking about billions of dollars that Putin done manipulated Joe Biden out of. He giving up land. Y'all heard what Trump said? The man giving out land for free and everything, man. What are we doing here, man? You feel me? So, like I said, at the end of the day, what I'm gonna encourage people to do, if you on my live right now, and if you support Donald Trump, right, I want you to type DJT in the comment section. That's abbreviation for Donald J. Trump. Let me see how many DJTs I can get in there, man. How many DJTs I can get? Like for real, for real. No cap. DJT. Biden, man, I know you tripping. You must be a foreigner. If you voted for Joe Biden, you's a foreigner. Because he letting y'all over here illegal. But guess what? That's finna start, because when Donald Trump get back in office, Trump finna shut that shit down. Y'all ain't coming over here. No, sir. The Indians are welcome. We rock with the Indians. But all y'all other mother coming over here, man, no, man, y'all gotta go, man. Y'all stealing all our jobs. You lie. What the hell? Who's somebody I'm lying? Lying about what? I don't know what they talking about, man. Some of y'all peoples out there just, boy, I tell you, man, some of y'all peoples out there got mental issues, man. Some of y'all gone mentally, man, psychologically blowed, just gone. Lying about what? Why I gotta lie? There's nothing to lie about. Trump all day, every day. Let the what? Let the illegals in. Man, you done bumped your head, man. Who that is right there? Man, one of my moderators, check who that is right there. Put him in timeout. Put him in timeout for saying that. I need one of my mods to come in right now and put that individual that said let the illegals in and timeout. Straight up, man. Don't come in my live talking like that, man. Don't you know a 12-year-old girl just lost her life, was raped and murdered by one of them suckers? Don't you know a mother of 8 was just murdered and raped by one of them suckers? Don't you know another mother was beaten and raped and her daughter was beaten by one of them suckers? And you talking about let the illegals in? Man, you done bumped your daggone head, man. Who are you? Show your face. State your name for the record. Free Britney Spears. What's up with Britney Spears, man? Britney Spears locked up? What Britney Spears got going on? I haven't heard about that. Put me up on game. I ain't heard nothing about Britney Spears' situation. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Yes, it does. If you's an American, it has a whole lot to do with you. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it could be one of your family members to be the next one victimized by them illegal immigrants. That's right. So yeah, it has a whole lot to do with you. Stop talking crazy, man. That's what's wrong with folks now, man. Y'all talk crazy. Well, you don't make no sense. Why would you even come on my live and even say something like that in my chat section, man? Like, for real. Y'all gotta stop that foolishness, man. Y'all gotta stop. Give it up. You know what I'm saying? It's like King AK-47. A lot of y'all other cats out there, bloggers. Stop trying to solve cases for the DA, man, for the feds. Stop trying to crack cases over. Cold case files. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Talk about something productive, man. Talk about something that people can really, you know what I'm saying, grow off of. Like what I'm doing now. Encouraging the people wholeheartedly to vote for Trump, man. We got to get Trump back in office, man. We got to get Donald Trump back in office. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you come in on my live, you're talking reckless, I'm going to report you. I'm going to block you. No, I ain't even going to do that. I'm going to put you in timeout, and sometimes you just got to let ignorant people be ignorant people. It is what it is, man. If you're rocking with Donald Trump, if you vote Trump for president, type DJT in the comment section. I don't see no DJTs, man. Come on now, y'all gotta come on now. Come on now. Come on now. I could have been doing anything today. You know what I'm saying? But I'm on live, man. I'm finna show y'all some videos. You know what I'm saying? For the thousands of people out there that missed the debate, the first debate between Trump and Biden in Atlanta, I'm finna run that. I'm finna replay it so you can see it. Okay, I got one. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I got 2 JTs in the comment. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to hear and see, man. I really want to see who rocked with Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, if you type DJT in the comment section, do me a favor. Double tap that stream, like the video. Do that for me too. Come through for me one time. Double tap the stream for all my DJT supporters. Double tap the stream, man. Let's go. So I'm almost at the crib, man. I'm about to listen. If you missed the debate, don't worry about it. If you miss anything politically, you're on the right platform because I'm going to play it. I'm going to make sure I play it at least 4 to 5 times so everybody can get the opportunity to see this debate. It was funny. It was hilarious. The only issue I had with Trump, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, and this issue is not going to stop me from voting for him because he got my vote all day. They was asking him some pivotal questions, and it's like he didn't want to answer the questions, man. That's the only thing I didn't like, because to me, that was making, I felt like, people was looking at like, damn, why is he trying to elude or avoid answering the questions? That's the only negative that I was able to take away from that debate. Other than that, Donald Trump slayed him. Trump did his thing, man. Trump gave Joe Biden the business. And for the ones that haven't seen it, when you see it, I want y'all to pay attention to how Joe Biden was like, couldn't get his words out, couldn't finish an entire sentence. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what in the, you feel me? But if you are a Republican, type Republican in the comment section. I want to see how many Republicans in the building. Do you say he doesn't know the answer? Biden should have just retired. You know what? Chance Burke, I agree with you. You absolutely right. He should have retired. You right about that. He should have just gave it up. Economy, everything. You weren't concerned about nobody's situation or nothing. But all of a sudden now that Donald Trump is able to campaign, now he want to start. Why? Somebody answer that question for me. I've been answering that question. I've been making this statement for the last 3 weeks. Why wait for the campaign for the presidential election to come around to say, I'm finna send out $2,800 stimulus checks to the American citizens? And they gonna start rolling out October the 5th, 1 month before the presidential election. Something just ain't right, bro. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I really don't. Okay, you leaning Republican, that's what's up. I appreciate you being active in the chat like that, right? You keep on doing what you're doing. I might make you a moderator. I might make you I might turn you into a mod, man. I ain't even gonna hold you. See, my camera is not setting up like I want it to, man. Keep slipping and falling and all that stuff there, man. But I'm almost at the crib anyway. I'm almost at the crib. That way I can use my, I got another new tripod. If I want to. So yeah, definitely just stay tuned, man. You know what I mean? I'm finna play this video, bro, and I want y'all to, for the ones that didn't see it, and for the ones that did, that's already seen it, for the return viewers, watch it again. Because it could have been something that you potentially missed. I'm gonna watch it with y'all guys. We all gonna watch it together. You know what I'm saying? And then, I'm gonna give y'all my intake on my view on how I feel, or what I got out of it. And I want everybody to do likewise. I want y'all to be active in the chat for me. You know what I'm saying? Activity creates opportunity. And I'll be glad when I do get out of here, because this daggone thing's slipping, man. I can't get it to stay up. But yeah, I want y'all to just stay on the live, man. I'm about to pull up at the crib here shortly, and yeah, we finna get into it, man. Yeah, we finna play this thing here, man. So for all y'all that missed it, don't worry about it. Your boy's here. I'm gonna save the date. I'm gonna make sure you get a chance to see it. I'm gonna keep it straight like that. Because I know there's people out there was like, dang, man, I missed the debate. I didn't get a chance to see it. Da 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 da. Don't worry about it. You finna see it now because I'm finna play it. You got 87 votes on the poll, man. 87 votes on the poll. Let's go ahead and do what we do best, guys. Let's do what we do best. And I'm gonna show y'all, man, listen, like I said, man, I got some new merch out, bro. I really want y'all guys to support me on that too, man. I really do need the support. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. I need the support. This sucker right here won't stay like I want it to. It's okay though. But yeah, that debate, man, that debate was something serious, man. That thing was something serious. It was something serious, man. I'm like, how in the world could this man sit here and get up there and try to criticize Donald Trump the way he done, and you done messed this country all the way up, man? I don't get it. I don't understand it. But we about to watch it though. We gonna watch it together. That's right. We gonna watch this thing together, man. Teamwork make the dream work, baby. We gonna watch this thing together. Straight up and down, like 12:30 and 6 o'clock. We finna watch this sucker together. Yeah, we gonna watch it together, man. We gonna watch this thing together. I need y'all to share this video out, man, cause I don't want to keep playing it. You know what I'm saying? I want to show y'all other stuff, but I understand that there are thousands of people that never got the opportunity to see the debate, and that's why I'm playing it, so they can have the opportunity to see it. So when it's time to vote, they know they voting for the right person. You know what I'm saying? Got to put my little swag on today. Had to swag it out one time. Boston Celtics won the championship, so we trying to win the championship. Everybody. What's up, Ladybug? So we done. Damn, messing my live up. All right, let me get this trying. No volume. No volume. I'm finna turn it up. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? I need to know if y'all can hear me. Can somebody tell me if I got volume? Okay, appreciate that. All right. Let's get this thing on. Let's get it turned on. We got to get this TV right. 1 second. Man, all my damn phones dead. Unfucking believable. Okay, that one is on. We right. We good. Don't panic, guys. Don't panic. Do not panic. Make sure y'all share the video, man, because there's people that haven't seen this yet. Athena, what's going on? There's people that haven't seen it yet, man. So we finna play it. I'm finna rerun it again. And like I said, the only reason why I'm playing it like this, because I know a lot of people didn't get a chance to see it. So I want to show everybody some love. I want everybody to get the opportunity. I'm trying to find this person. Oh, okay, I know who it is now. All right, here we go. There we go. Let's see. Let me share this. I got to share it, man, because I don't think nobody shared the video for me yet, so I'm going to share it myself. Let me share it out. I'm coming, y'all. Okay. All right. Let me see something real fast. What we talking about? We talking about the debate. We talking about who you voting for president. That's what we talking about. And I hope it's Trump. Give me 1 second. I got to share this thing around because I don't think nobody shared it for me yet, bro. I got to share it. I got to share it. All right. There we go. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. All right. Here we go. Hold up. Hold up. Let's get some volume.
Presidential debate. This debate is being produced by CNN and is coming to you live on CNN, CNN International, CNN.com, CNN Max, and CNN Espanol. This is a pivotal moment between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump in their rematch for the nation's highest office. Each will make his case to the American people with just over 4 months until Election Day. Good evening, I'm Dana Bash, anchor of CNN's Inside Politics and co-anchor of State of the Union.
I'm Jake Tapper, anchor of CNN's The Lead and co-anchor of State of the Union. Dana and I will co-moderate this evening. Our job is to facilitate a debate between the two candidates tonight. Before we introduce them, we want to share the rules of the debate with the audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left side of the screen. President Biden will be appearing on the right. A coin toss determines their positions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question and 1 minute each for responses and rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on and his opponent's microphone will be turned off. Should a candidate interrupt when his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight. Pre-written notes, props, or contact with campaign staff are not permitted during the debate. By accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden. And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
I got to take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do was try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out the position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. But there's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of household where the kitchen tables, things weren't able to be met during the month. It was a problem. The price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination of what was left with the corporate greed is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for an insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they could include beginning next year. In a situation that we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Thank you. President Trump?
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates. That was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you. President Biden?
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world, he's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he's the greatest economy in the world. And, the fact of the matter is that we find ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. he didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have any, this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can.
Am I allowed to respond to him?
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cause countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China, it's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back, and he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were doing. It was the worst, probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt, while so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24% or 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people, they cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal. There's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters, by It's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
There have been many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world, considered the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which frankly they didn't. But they would have, everybody wanted brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar wanted it that way.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President Biden, 7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I support Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
So that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
That is simply not true. The Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. Only if a woman's life is in danger, she's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period. Period, period.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board, at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. he decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now, all terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere, all over the world they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in
Thank you,
caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person come in his administration, killed three American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorists ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people, that's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed three people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the two greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these three incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and he just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all. And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by allowing all of these people to come in. And it's a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living right next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
4-star general standing to your side was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And they now are their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right, thank you so much.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year. Former President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, the president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never invaded Ukraine. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned. And so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine. Never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything. No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently, not when he was president. They attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. Listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish, Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I
I'm going to
never
come back
said
to you
that.
for 1 minute. I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the
No, they're
territory
not
in Ukraine.
acceptable. No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
President Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way, all that money we give Ukraine and from weapons we make here in the United States, we give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have in the world. And so that's they're two different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people to how they can get Hamas like we did Bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened Hamas. Greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for what using certain weapons among population centers.
Why she don't want to stay over there? What's going on?
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating
What's
us.
she doing?
The European nations together have spent 100 billion, or maybe more than that, less than us.
Man, my shit.
Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any, they were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that.
Put on the phone.
He's getting all, you got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute.
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. You're going to stay in NATO? He's going to pull out of NATO. The idea that we have, our strength lies in our alliances as well. It may be a big ocean, but we're ever able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe? What happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine and then move on to Poland and other places. See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation has a serious threat to the whole world peace. No major war in Europe has ever been able to be contained just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up,
I know that
would
shit,
you
man.
support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations, because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, no, they don't want anything that we have, but we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this, I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question, would you guard us against Russia, at a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time. And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021. After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see, I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? That's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her. And she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up to Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done.